Hey everyone, welcome back to another Insider session. Today I'm joined by Vanessa Johnson from Travel Lux, who just returned from the inaugural sailing on Emerald Kaia in Greece. Now, what makes this conversation especially interesting is Vanessa has cruised mostly larger mainstream ships, so today we're getting a fresh perspective on what happens when an experienced big ship cruiser steps into the world of boutique yacht luxury. Welcome, Vanessa.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Hey, real quick, please share with us a little bit about you and Travel Lux.
Yeah, so I have been with Travelux for a bit over 4 years now, and I have been very fortunate to travel all over the world. Just with my family growing up, I had an aunt who worked in the airline industry, and so I took full advantage of those perks. And I think that is what drew me into starting with Travelux. And growing up, we always did cruises as a family, but they were the big mass market cruises. And so this was a totally different experience than what I was used to.
Excellent, perfect. Well, before we sail in, let's level set here. So, Emerald Cruises offers a more intimate style of cruising with sleek luxury yachts, personalized service, marina access, beautiful open air spaces, and immersive itineraries that bring you closer to iconic destinations like the Greek islands. So, let's sail in. Vanessa, before boarding Emerald Kaia, what were you expecting and what surprised you the most once you got on board?
I honestly had no idea what to expect. I was just very excited to see the yacht, and I didn't really put a whole lot of thought into what the onboard experience was going to be like because I was excited to see Greece, try something completely different than what I was used to. But once I was on, it was amazing. And the staff just made it that much better than what you would expect because they knew your names right away. They learned what drinks you wanted. They were all over the ship and everybody was saying hello no matter what. It was completely different than your typical cruise.
That's great. The crew absolutely makes a difference when you sail. So you've sailed the larger ships before. Did the smaller ship luxury feel more relaxing, more personal, more immersive, and why?
All of the above. The best part was you didn't have these huge lines to get on and off the ship. Even when we were getting on for the first time, we walked right on to the ship. And whenever we were in port, even in Santorini, which all I had heard was it was absolutely terrible to get off the ship in Santorini because it was so crowded. We never had to wait for a tender. It was the most relaxing experience, and I would highly recommend doing a cruise that way rather than the big cruises. Even coming back from one of the ports one day, we wanted to go, excuse me, sit in the hot tub. And on a normal cruise ship, that would be almost like a 45-minute process to go back to your room to change and then head back down to the hot tub after waiting in line and going through security and everything. And on this ship, it was a 5-minute process.
I love that. Yeah. And on Kaya is our next gen. So there's three at the moment: Sakara, Azura, and Kaya. Kaya has the hot tub that's on the bow and on the sky deck. So do you experience both hot
We
tubs?
did. Yeah. So when we were leaving port a couple of days, we did the one in the front. And then once we were leaving Santorini, we did the one in the back. And they actually had one of their performers come out and play some music. And it was absolutely amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah, the sky deck one is one of my favorites. That I haven't experienced Kaya yet, so I haven't got to see this new design with this beautiful bow that's open to our guests, lounge chairs, and the hot tub. It's a whole new experience when you're sailing Kaya. So Kaya also is a little larger. So Sakar and Azor is 100 passengers. Kaya is 128 passengers.
Not that
So
you would know, though.
no, no, and that's the beauty of sailing in these small super yachts. So service could really define a vacation experience. How was the service compared with larger ships you've sailed?
Excuse me. It was amazing. We would go to dinner every night, and the bartender would come over from the bar ooh, on the other side of the ship, and he would know what we wanted to drink and would just have it waiting for us. Oh my gosh. And we had somebody in our group that had an allergy, and they remember that every night when we went to dinner and went through things on the menu that they could eat and couldn't eat. It was just about really learning the people, and it made it feel very personalized.
Perfect. So when you compare the overall onboard atmosphere, did it feel more elegant, more intimate, more relaxed than the bigger ships?
It honestly was a mix of elegant, but it was in a relaxed way because you don't have to get extremely dressed up like you would be worried about on a ship like this. But it was so relaxed because you're not rushing to get to dinner, you're not waiting in line. You could go to dinner at any point between the times that they were available. You could get a drink beforehand if you wanted to. But everybody was so friendly too. It was way above and beyond what I expected. And the coolest thing was everybody who was on the ship had been on multiple other Emerald ships, and everybody knew each other. They were telling us their stories about the travels they had, the crew that they had met at other locations, and it made it really just feel like a fun group of people that you were traveling with and not a bunch of strangers. And I think because of that, it felt a lot more relaxed than what I was expecting.
Yeah, I think you're gonna find that because of the size, because of these experience that this Emerald yachts deliver, is that the repeat is just pretty much guaranteed. Once you put someone on one of these ships, they're coming back and they're going to try the Med, the Adriatic, then the Caribbean, and we're expanding to the Seychelles and more. So it's going to be a product, and it is a product that is one of our fastest growing products in the Emerald brands. So this was your first experience in Greece. How did Santorini compare to the places you've traveled to before?
I mean, there's no comparing it to anything. It's so magical. And once you're up on the cliffside looking down, it was just beautiful. And we were actually next to a celebrity ship. And we heard people when we stopped to like take pictures pointing at like Kaia and just saying, "What ship is that? That's so beautiful." And it was just such a cool experience. And the people there were so friendly. And we had lunch overlooking the ships and the caldera, and there's just nothing like it. We just chose to walk around rather than do an organized tour, and I preferred that because it was a fun way to just kind of explore and kind of get lost in the moment.
Yeah, Santorini is one of my favorite places. Greece is one of my favorite places. So Vanessa, thank you so much for sharing your experience and an honest perspective. I think conversations like this are so valuable because they help travelers understand there's more than one way to cruise, and sometimes smaller ships can create the biggest memories. If you'd like to learn more about Emerald Cruises and luxury yacht cruising, feel free to reach out to Vanessa or me. And if you enjoyed this insider session, be sure to follow for more real traveler insights, destination inspiration, and behind the scenes travel conversations. Thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you so much.